this basically PricewaterhouseCoopers. People trust PwC more than they do me. So let me just rely on their inputs a little bit. So they're saying that the blockchain technology has the potential to boost the global GDP by $1.76 trillion over the next decade. So this was on October 2020, Time to Trust report in PwC website. You can find, I'll encourage all of you to visit that, download that, go through it meticulously. And so PwC on October 2020, from their survey, they have come out with this figure of $1.76 trillion. Obviously, after that, the NFTs have come, the Metaverse has come, and they have created quite a furor into the markets with new domains, new opportunities coming up, new business potentials going up. Metaverse itself is kind of projected to be an $800 billion market by 2024, 2025, that recent. So my opinion is that $1.76 trillion is a lot lesser than what I am expecting the global boost to GDP is from this point of time onwards. Probably if the Russia-Ukraine war, it takes its toll with initial investments now, I think the fresh investments, they will all move to digital sphere. Most of it will move to digital sphere rather than, the traditional and legacy systems. Now, there's sufficient reason to believe that where the new investments will move. And I guess that's the domain of Devesh. And Devesh, when you are talking, please tell them why the propensity of new investments to flow to digital aspects of business is higher at this point of time, and are going to be higher beyond this, whatever this small strife and this economic opportunity which is evolving at this point of time due to this Russia-Ukraine struggle. So that said, in October 2020, what PwC was expecting is that by 2025, it's going to be around $422 billion, which is obviously going to rise to about $1.76 trillion. Now, I am sure that in 2020, they were saying that 61% of the CEOs are putting digital transformation in top 3 of their priorities. If they conduct this survey right now over here, that will be 100%. Trust me, that will be 100%. And I mean, several of that 100% guys would be basically planning their own startups in the digital sphere rather than, transforming their old legacy company systems to, blockchain enabled enterprises. But there's a lot of activity which is happening in enterprise applications. Ethereum is leading that. And there are a lot of business processes which are getting onto the blockchain platform using smart contract platforms like Ethereum, Tezos, Solana, and several others. In China, most of the things which are happening is around Neo. So these are some of the things which are happening currently, and this is something which presents that kind of an opportunity to us. Now, in order to achieve this, in order to do this kind of an transformation, they need people, and that's where the opportunity is. It's going to create a lot of jobs. Now, if you look into the PwC's report, the kind of job addition that will happen by 2030, they are expecting about 42 million jobs to be added across the globe in major economies, with their estimates being this of different countries. In India alone, we are expecting about 3.2 million jobs to be added. But trust me, I believe that a significant portion of the 42 million, the global figure, is going to be filled by Indians, because we are much smarter than what the rest of the world may like to think about us. And look at the IT sector today. I strongly believe that you guys will be, taking the India campaign strongly home to these other countries also, not only India. So that's my belief. But PwC believes that it's about 3.2 million jobs for Indians only. I believe 42 million is what is wide open. In fact, it's the lower estimate again. So that said, what does India think about it? A lot of you might be thinking that the government of India is not really supportive of this ecosystem, but I This is the Blockchain India Strategy Part 1 report, which was published in January 2020. I'd encourage you to go to the website, download the report and read it in totality. But over here, I'm just trying to highlight the recommendations which they had for the government of India. They're specifically talking about building a national infrastructure for deployment of blockchain solutions, which is they're calling as the India chain. And if you go to the Mighty website, and download their blockchain strategy report, which they have submitted for the government for considerations, they have actually went ahead and proposed something of a national infrastructure out there. And that's really, that's really encouraging, I must say. When the finance minister comes and says that we are taking a calibrated approach and we want to leave the window of innovation open, that's something which, helps me get more positive about how things are going to happen. Then again, I look at various centers of excellence in blockchain and other things which are happening across the country, the kind of efforts which are being jointly led by academia and the public sector in developing the POCs regarding proof of concepts regarding, enterprise solutions in public services, like, let's say, for example, public distribution system or direct benefit transfer, or let's say, for example, putting land records onto a database. And how many of you are from Bombay? Can you just do a quick hand raise if anybody is from Bombay? Are you doubly vaccinated? Padmanabha or Utkarsh? Padmanabha.
Yes, sir.
You're doubly vaccinated,
Yes.
Padmanabha Bhattacharya? Wow, you're a Bhattacharya. Bong, like me. Good. So, did you get your universal pass?
Yes, sir.
Can you just take it out? There's a QR code on your universal pass, and can you just read what is written just below it? Read it out loud for the
Yeah, sure, sir. Sure, sir. Just a minute. Sir, below the QR code, it is written that you may scan the QR code to verify this pass on DMRR blockchain.
That's correct. And this DMRR, it stands for Department of Disaster Management, Relief and Rehabilitation. Correct? That's the Maharashtra government, DMRR blockchain. So basically, they have started using blockchain for, saving this record so that nobody could fudge the universal pass. Now, earlier, what I could do is basically I could take Padmanabh's card and just, put my picture on top of Padmanabh's picture, like what James Bond usually does to, in his movies. Today, somebody could just scan the QR code and James Bond will be kaput. Held. He cannot do that any further. So that's the benefit of blockchain into this system. Padmanabh, you can lower your hand now. Thank you so much for your help. And that's where, in the digital identity part, having an healthcare records on blockchain or having your land records on blockchain and things like that. Those are some of the things, like putting public services on the blockchain and using blockchain technology to basically come and help the government in doing all these things. So that's also something which the entire Indian government and different departments are very, very much bullish on and are working feverishly towards it. So that also gives us a lot of, opportunity to kind of, participate into that ecosystem, be those change agents who would be taking this change, and taking us to the new future, the digitalized future, as we are dreaming today, the Metaverse. So that's what's happening, guys. Now, if you're looking at the employment spectrum out here, so it's a wide open field. So the kind of roles that you can get is like, very wide. It could start with a developer, architect, administrator. You could become a project manager. Some of you graphic artists can become very good UX designers, because UX designing is going to be one of the critical issues, because lots and lots of people, this technology is very inclusive in nature. So people who are not technologically adept should also be able to use this technology, and henceforth has to be very much user friendly to begin with, the front end, at least the user part. So UX design is going to be very critical and very interesting for this entire space. Also, the UX designing, if you're talking of immersive experiences like we are talking in Metaverse, is going to be a pretty exciting space. I mean, if any one of you is playing games on decentralized mana or Axie Infinity, you must be knowing like how things are happening over there. If you are checking out the progresses which is happening in Metaverse with this virtual reality and augmented reality kind of a thing, the UX is so immersive out there, so vivid, and things out there that it requires some cool skills, some very deep cool skills to generate those kind of things. So UX is going to be one of the major things. People are going to stay back into their houses, put a VR set, Oculus around their eyes, and they're going to go to an metaverse shopping or metaverse meeting or metaverse education and training. Lovely things. So that experience and that kind of an fast computing processing of gesture recognition and other things is going to be an interesting space of development. So that's another area where there's a lot of workforce, a lot of ideation, a lot of creative skills are going to be needed. Then you can get into a quality engineer. Of course, these businesses and the governments, public processes and private processes would be needing consultants and legal consultants. Then there will be blockchain engineers, analysts, content writers. There has to be social media proliferation, because today what is happening is blockchain being one of the industry 4.0 technologies, and I'd encourage you to go and look into the other technologies, because all of these things are going to be used in conjunction. So blockchain is going to be only one part of it, but there's going to be similar emphasis laid on artificial intelligence, deep learning, IoT, Internet of Things, and other technologies which are basically trying to kind of have a cybernetic society. So it's basically just not technology, but also the society involved in it. And some places it's coming out to be feeding on each other. So there's a societal demand which is coming in, which technology is fulfilling. Also the technology is shaping some of the societal habits. So today, when we were young, we used to meet friends on a tea stall. We used to have tea and we used to chat with each other and really have those addas, all of those who are from Bengal, you'll understand that chai time addas that we used to have. But today I walk into a cafe coffee day and I see four friends sitting over there over a cup of cappuccino and things like that. They all are digged into their smartphones, and they do interact physically. It's not that they're not interacting physically. Some of them are even poking the others saying that, look at my Facebook post, why don't you just comment something on it and like it and share it and things like that. So I see that technology is shaping up user habits, and user habit is again shaping technology to a large extent. So this is a very interesting space which is developing, and social media is playing a huge role into it. So social media and community managements are also going to be very important roles, very exciting roles of this space. And if not anything, we definitely need more trainers and educators into this space, because we need more guys in this space to come and actually push us into that metaverse as soon as possible. So pandemic has been a good push. We saw a lot of adaptation. I hope this Russia-Ukraine war is going to be another good push. Already people are starting, accepting donations in cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin and other things. You must be seeing it all over the social media. So anything bad happens to the world economy today, cryptocurrencies and blockchain, which are the new tech, other things are going to go up. So that's kind of job scope in blockchain, and this is some of the skills which is required. Now, this is not like an exhaustive list, or neither am I trying to say that you need to learn all of this to become a blockchain expert. But these are like some of the skills which, if you are having with you, are going to do a world of good to you. So some of the blockchain takes like Solidity, which is a smart contract writing language for Ethereum. There are other smart contract platforms which use other languages, like Cardano uses Haskell, Polkadot uses Rust, and things like that. Blockchain takes like Solidity, Ethereum, Hyperledger, Ripple, all these things will give you a good amount of, flexibility, a good amount of, working, what can you call, comfort level. Uh, then some of the coding languages, some blockchain development tools, some DevOps tools, cloud creation, and some other associated skills like your knowledge about fintech technology, your knowledge about cryptography, your knowledge about how information system is working, and other things can give you that kind of an added advantage. So where we are moving in is basically we are moving into a techno supported business area. So business is going to be an important part of it, as well as technology. So we are kind of moving into an area where possibilities will be created out of capabilities, and capabilities will be shaped out of possibilities. So that's the kind of an area we are going to move into. So knowledge can only hurt when you don't have it. Try and be knowledgeable. It's definitely going to be used at certain point of time or others and giving you a good boost. If you ask me that how do I, apart from the legacy traditional study system that we are having, just a second, I'm getting a call. Okay, how do I go about the roadmap? I guess start off with some basic knowledge about what are blocks, what are chains, what is to be trusted into the system, the functioning, the process with its components and other things, the application cases, look at how blockchain can be used in different business processes and other things, and then learn some languages maybe. So basically you have the knowledge about what blockchain is, how it works, what are the benefits you can draw upon, and how you use it in a business case. And then if you like all those things, then probably proceed on to learning some languages, getting your hands dirty, uh, acquire some application development knowledge, understand what process re-engineering is, and try and use it in some exciting hackathons, or some business idea generation with your friends and things like that. Do some internships. Nothing helps better than doing an internship and getting your hands dirty, and then take some specialized program on equipping yourself with further skilling and so on and so forth. So this is kind of an, a roadmap where which you can put yourself onto, and how we intend to help you. We are CryptoWire. CryptoWire isn't a cryptocurrency exchange, neither it is any kind of a cryptocurrency or crypto coin. So we are into the business of disseminating information, education, knowledge, infotainment, information with entertainment kind of a thing. So Crypto TV is our infotainment kind of a thing, which wraps up information in an entertaining way. Today, people want to watch videos and opinions much more than they want to read out PDFs and things like that. So Crypto TV is going to help you with that. Now, Crypto TV is available on an OTT format on the CryptoWire application. So you can download that and you can access that. I'll encourage you. It's like, it's very much like your Disney Hotstar or Amazon Prime kind of a thing. Crypto University does the serious thing a little bit. So what it basically does is that it tries to give you that, the blocks and the chains and how it works kind of a thing. So we have courses from global universities. One of the best courses that I can recommend you is that this MIT course by Gary Gensler, and it is the entire thing is there on the Crypto University application. So it's like Game of Thrones, and all these Game of Thrones episodes are there. Of course, it is a little, you just keep on seeing Gary Gensler out there, but he talks a lot of sense, and he talks a lot of, important things about what your blockchain intuition is, what the cryptocurrency intuition is, and how you should be treating them. So I encourage you to go there, watch this out chapter by chapter, session by session, whenever it helps you, and try and understand it much better. CryptoWire does all the tracking for you. So it takes gives you the price information, and also some of very important interesting information like arbitrage opportunities for different coins between exchanges and all such things. So CryptoWire is one app which should help you to track these markets totally, keep you updated with all the news, opinions, whatever is happening all across the world in around cryptocurrencies and blockchain, and also give you a good amount of education about how to pursue this thing further. So that's it. I'd like to welcome you to the chain, and we'll take some questions and answers later. Maybe it's a good time to hear Devesh out. Devesh, over to you, buddy.
Hi, Ajay. It was an insightful session, and I'm sure students learned a lot from this. Thanks, Ajay. So great, Ajay. I think pretty insightful. And as you mentioned, from the career opportunity, I completely agree with you that today cryptocurrency and blockchain has tremendous scope of building careers for a lot of newbies. In fact, there was a time I remember when e-commerce started coming in, and people were like, इससे क्या होगा? मतलब ये लोग खुद का भी धंधा नहीं कर पाएंगे, दूसरों को करने देंगे. And people were like, they couldn't imagine life without the kirana stores and the malls, etc. But the way e-commerce has taken over by storm, now people just can't think anything but shopping online. In fact, if you see, the most of the unicorns that we have in India are in the e-commerce sector. Now that's what talks about how much growth and career opportunities were there, which people didn't realize because it was just the beginning of e-commerce. Likewise, in 2010, when Paytm was just trying to pick up its speed, people were like, "Koi naya startup aa gaya hai, kya karega? We don't know." And today in 2022, people just can't imagine life without digital wallet. Everyone has a digital wallet, right from your pan wala to your auto wala to your naril pani wala. Everyone has one. What I'm trying to say here is that one should not underestimate a new trend that one starts setting in. For example, today blockchain and cryptocurrency. A lot of people think it's a bubble, it's pretty volatile. What can one do? If it's volatile, there are different ways to go about it. In fact, I'll spend some time on this maybe after a few minutes and talk to you how even a volatile asset class can really be a great opportunity for one to capitalize upon. Like what I'm saying now, it took say around 10-12 years for digital wallet to actually become the norm of the day. Likewise, a blockchain and cryptocurrency may take maybe lesser time than that. You're seeing what's happening with El Salvador, you're seeing what's happening with Walmart, you're seeing with what's happening with the Dubai ATMs, etc. People are just integrating blockchain and cryptocurrencies in their daily lives. So I think it's the right time to capitalize upon that and build something. But having said that, for me, I have worked with over 1,100 startups, have a network of more than 1,500 investors from India and overseas put together. For me, entrepreneurship is something which is very closer to my heart. So I feel than being job seekers, one can actually be job creators. And there is immense potential, immense scope in this field of blockchain and cryptocurrency where people can create something. And if we have, say, for example, 25 unicorns in the e-commerce sector, I'm sure blockchain cryptocurrency will create 125. And how? I'm just not, so let's just not talk in air. Let's think of ideas, what one can actually do, be an entrepreneur in this space and scale things up. So for instance, let's take a more simple things. This happens with a lot of students. They take their mark sheets, they Photoshop it, they forge it, and then they apply for job roles. And maybe eventually after a few years, when they start doing well in their careers, people then, when they backtrack and they see that, these mark sheets were fake. Or when they do a fraud, people when do a backtrack and they see these mark sheets were fake. In fact, if something like this, if y'all can build a platform, maybe to begin the city level, then state level, then national level, that everything is put on a blockchain platform, then fudging these mark sheets would not be that easy, right? So that is one thing that I can just think out of the box, and one can think about building something into blockchain and creating a venture out of it. Another thing, maybe like a LinkedIn. So today in LinkedIn, people write about, again, their qualifications, their past employments, etc. Now, one way to check is you put a verification agency, you figure out whatever the person is talking is true or no, and then you give a job to the person. But that takes a lot of time, energy, and money. What if you have a LinkedIn backed by a blockchain? Now, if you do that, maybe again, life becomes pretty simple. Nobody can fudge. We know every data is accurate and there is no playing around. Like how Ajoy mentioned about the vaccination certificate, that one goes there and checks that is it true or no. Otherwise, people can actually, a lot of people have done that. When people were traveling interstate and there was the RT-PCR test, a lot of people are fudging the reports because there was nobody scanning them, nobody checking on them. Likewise, for the certifications, vaccination, a lot of people, when they want to enter into malls, restaurants, they're fudging it. If people just go onto the website and check that is this person really double vaccinated, they'll come to know. And it's so simple. It's just putting in the information, but people don't want to do that, right? But doing such simple things, you can create a huge venture out of it, and you can become the next unicorn. In fact, let me take an example of a young student, and which you guys can relate to. This person called Samuel Fried. You can Google him. He is based in the US. He passed out of MIT, and then he thought, what can I do to make more money? He thought of multiple ideas. He went on the internet, he Googled, couldn't think of anything. And then he stumbled upon Bitcoin. And he saw the price of Bitcoin is $10,000 in the US exchange. I'm talking this few years ago. And the price of the Bitcoin in Japanese exchange is $11,000. He said, why can't I do an arbitrage opportunity? He said, why can't I buy in the US exchange and sell it in the Japanese exchange and create an arbitrage and do that with a huge amount? He started doing that on a daily basis. Of course, the arbitrage reduces over a period of time. But today he runs a crypto exchange in the US. His company is valued at $17.5 billion and he's just 29 years of age. Now, it's a simple thing that can people actually create a venture out of. Simple arbitrage. In fact, there was one of my company that I had invested into, and I missed out on that. And I'm saying why one should not miss out on such opportunities is, so there was a company of mine whom I invested in 2016-17. At that point of time, he was into cloud servers. Then he moved into something else. And the third thing that he did in 2020 was into cryptocurrencies. And at that point of time, I told him that you have switched 3 companies and you're just not keeping us updated about what you're doing in life. I think I would want to pull out my money. And quite a few other investors whom we co-invested together, all of us said that, yeah, we would like to pull out our money. And we all decided to pull out our money. He said, I'll give back your principal. But he's like, I'm very bullish on this. And at that point of time, we weren't very sure about how he's going to make it the next big thing. And it's been a span of 1.5 years. His valuation has scaled 10 times. So that's an opportunity loss for all of us who had invested there. So that's the speed at which things are increasing right now. So talking about arbitrage, let me draw a parallel here. In fact, so a lot of people talk about it's pretty volatile, right? Should we invest right now or no? If you're not sure about investing, you can just do simple trading and actually make money in cryptocurrencies. There is something called as technical analysis, which is just watching the charts. You don't listen to the news. You don't get affected with what Elon Musk is saying. You just watch the charts. You understand basic technical analysis and you can make money. Let me take an example and show it to you. Maybe let me share my screen and share a chart and show how one can do that. And we can pick up any currency of your choice and we can do it and see if it works or does not work. Technical analysis itself is a huge study. It just cannot be taught in 5 minutes. But since we have paucity of time, let me make an attempt here to spend the next 5-6 minutes to maybe take you through charts and explain some basic funda and show you with some basics in life you can really make money. And we can look at multiple charts for that matter and see, does it work everywhere or just in any random currency? But before I do that and share my screen, one disclaimer, this is only for educational purpose. We don't want people from tomorrow stopping the studies and getting into trading because thinking it's so simple to make money. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen and let's see how it works. Okay, so here we are on the NSE. Which cryptocoin should we take? Should we take Bitcoin? Yeah, perfect. So these are candlesticks. Okay, and each one of them is a daily candlestick. So candlestick basically tells you where the price opened, what is the high, what is the low, and what is the close of the price. So say on 17/12/2017. So you can see the date over here down at this place. So if you see on 17/12/2017, here is the open, high, low, and close of it. So the open of this was at 19,346. The high was 19,870. The low was 18,750 and the close was 1965. So this is how you read a candle. Now I'm going to talk about the most basic concept of resistance and support and how can you actually make money by just doing this. So what's a resistance? So let's assume the price is moving up, it halts, it takes a U-turn and starts moving down. So the moment it takes a U-turn, it's a resistance. Likewise, the price is moving down, it stops and takes a U-turn to move up. So the point at which it takes a U-turn, it's the support. So that's what is resistance and support. Ideally, we take a resistance when the U-turn is more than 15%, and we take a support when the U-turn is more than 15%, right? So it has to be 15% deviation from the top and 15% deviation from the bottom to decide as a resistance or a support. So in this case, let's assume the price is, let's assume what we can see here. The price is moving up. It stops here. Has it taken 15% movement down? No. So we don't take this as a resistance. It moves up. It stops here. Has it fallen more than 15%? Yes, it has. So we take this as a resistance. I've just picked up randomly any place in between. If you guys want to pick up recent or more backdated, we can do on that as well. And we see the price is moving down. It continues to move down. And here we see it has stopped here. It's formed a support. Has it moved more than 15%? I think yes, it has. If not, we can move more ahead. But I think the price from here has moved more than 15%. So we can take this as a support. Now, what are we supposed to do here? If the price breaks the resistance, we buy in that direction. If the price breaks the support, we sell in that direction. How do we define our target and a stop loss? Simple. Let's assume the price broke the resistance. The candle which broke the resistance, the low of that candle is a stop loss. And your target is the distance between the resistance and the support. In this case, it's 19,860 minus 6,000. So close to say 14,000 is your target. Likewise, if it breaks the support. So in this case, if it breaks 6,000 on the downside, the high of the candle is a stop loss and the target is 14,000. In this case, it cannot go negative. So your target would be 6,000 points. It has to become zero. So let's see what happens here. So we are seeing the candle is moving in the range yet. It's okay. Now here we see it came here to just break the support. So this candle has closed the support on the downside, broken and closed below the support. So the high of the candle is 6,178. So 178 is your stop loss because 6,000 is your support, and your profit could be exactly 6,000 points. So you're there to lose around 178 points, but gaining 6,000 points. So that is a huge risk to reward ratio. Let's see what happens here. We see in the next candle, it hits the stop loss. So your 178 points are gone. Let's see what happens after this. Now it's still continuing to be in the range. Now, if you see, it's broken the range on the downside, right? So here it broke 6,000. So now what is the thing? Should we keep seeing the resistance and support multiple times, or there has to be some stop loss in mind at how many times can we take a stop loss? So ideally, if it hits a stop loss more than 3 times, you don't take the trade, because the risk to reward in this case is 1:10, 1:100. In fact, if it breaks the resistance, in support is still 1:10 or 1:50, but we don't take stop losses more than 3 times. So if it hits your stop loss thrice, you exit the trade, you don't take it. So here, if you see, it's broken down. Your stop loss is 450 points and target is around 6,000. What happens here? Does it become zero? I don't think so. It becomes zero. Now it has entered the range. Now it's moving up. Now it's in the range still. It's in the range. It's in the range. It's broken 20,000 here. So we hit stop loss twice, right? Third time, it broke the resistance and a target of 14,000 points, so it's 34,000. But we see it's hit a high of 42,000. So something as simple as that. So there might be stop losses, but you don't take more than 3. And we just picked up randomly anything, right? We did not plan and see what happened. We just picked up anything and we saw it hitting the stop losses twice. The third time, it did not take the same trade. It went above, broke the resistance, and it achieved the target, right? So that's how you can actually trade on any currency, for that matter, in Ethereum or any that you have in your mind, and see how resistance and support works beautifully. I hope this is clear. This gives some understanding about how one can just do simple things and make money even in Bitcoin and cryptocurrency. I'm happy to take any other example if you guys want. If you have any questions on this, I am happy to answer. If not, I can stop sharing my screen, and then Ajoy and I both are open to take any questions that you all have. Let me know any other currency or questions and answers.
So can you take any other currency like to showcase?
Which one you want?
Sir, any one like Ethereum.
So you want to take which time frame? The latest what's happening or some backdated one? What do you want?
The latest one.
So let's see, Rusha, what happens here. So we are over here. Now, if you see, the resistance in this case is over here because we are seeing a U-turn happening from here more than 15%, right? So I'm marking my resistance at 4862. I don't think this is a support yet because it has not moved more than 15%. Another thing that you may want to look at is it should either move more than 15% or break the previous swing high. So swing high is, so wherever it is taking a U-turn. So the first swing high is this, second is this, third is this, fourth is this, fifth is this, sixth is this, seventh is this, eighth is this. So at no given point of time, it has broken the swing. So support is not formed yet. So we really don't know when the support gets formed. But once the support gets formed, and let's assume if it breaks this swing high, which is 3410, then for us, this becomes a support. So 2150 and 4868 is your range. If it's after breaking 3400 and sustaining there for maybe a week or so, we are sure that the support has been formed. After that, if it breaks 2150, we can assume that a downward trajectory has begun. Or if it continues up and it breaks 4800, we know that our target, if it breaks this, is 2150 minus 4850, which is close to, say, 1800 points is our target on the upside. So that's how we would see what's going to happen. But for that, it has to start sustaining above 3400 for a week. You understand why 3400? Because it's a swing high over here, and you can see the price on the right hand side. So if it sustains here, only then we are sure a support is formed. So here a resistance already formed, a support needs to get formed, and then breaking on either side would give us a momentum in that direction. Clear, Rishabh?
Yeah, sir, it's fine.
Perfect, great. I'll stop sharing my screen now and open to any questions related to this or anything else. Ajoy and I both are happy to answer.
I don't think they have any questions, Devesh. या तो सब समझ में आ गया या फिर कुछ नहीं समझ में आया. There are only two conditions in which there's no questions. Anyways, I mean, great guys. Taking time out, fag end of the day. Okay, somebody, Padmanabh, Bitcoin halving, yes. So basically, Bitcoin has got an incentive structure for its blockchain protocol to proceed. So what essentially blockchain requires is blocks being added into the chain. So blocks contain the data, the latest transaction data, and that latest data is put into a block, and these blocks keep on getting added to the chain, making the database larger. So making the transactions go ahead. So that's essentially the chain of blocks or the blockchain. Blockchain does not require any trusted third party to do this thing for the community or the peer-to-peer. So what it essentially does is that it draws on effort from within the peer-to-peer community to get these important things like validation, verification of identities, validation of the transaction, and then it verifies, validates, and only when it is like a valid verified entry, puts it into the block and keeps the history of transactions, to be honest, and single source of truth. So in order to do this, there are people who are doing the important jobs like verification of the transaction, validation of the transaction, putting it into the record. So all these things require some amount of incentive. Otherwise, why would they do it? So this incentive, when Bitcoin blockchain started, adding one block to the entire blockchain would give a reward of 50 Bitcoins. But then in the Bitcoin protocol, it was like mentioned that after every 21,000 or 2.1 million blocks, the reward will get halved. So after that specified event, the block rewards dropped to 25 and then to 12.5, and now it is like 6.25. Currently, we have undergone the fourth halving of Bitcoin rewards, and it is currently 6.25 per block. So this is what is known as the Bitcoin halving. It happens roughly every 4 years, around May. The last halving happened in May 2020. So the next one is going to happen in around May 2024, when the block addition rewards will go down to 3.125 Bitcoins per block. Is that clear? Well, is it mandatory that Bitcoin's value will explode after every halving? See, it's not mandatory, it's economics. So the thing is, people are putting in effort, they're putting in cost, they're setting up mining farms, they're spending electricity, they're spending their time and other things to do all these things, the mining part of it, the verification and validation part of it. They should be adequately compensated. Otherwise, what happens is that the mining activity drops. If the mining activity drops, supply goes down. If the supply goes down, then obviously demand peaks up and the prices adjust accordingly. So what happens is that whenever the mining rewards go down, if you go to the history of prices, you will see that after every halving event, because the mining has gone down or things like that, there was a supply shock which has forced the prices go up. So it's not mandatory, it's not by rule, but it is kind of by economics why Bitcoin halving are so important in thing. So Roshan, your question is Devesh, Roshan is asking the question, now investing in crypto is the right time. Can you tell 5 best coins to invest now? Will you like to take that up, Devesh?
I think, Ajoy, you are the master in this. I can just tell him how to make money in any coin through resistance and support and other things. But which one is good for investing? I think you are the best person.
So, see, the thing is, this entire economy, the digital economy is shaping up right now. So be invested into it in any manner possible, whether you put your money, you put your effort, you put your time, you put your knowledge, you put your skills into it. I consider every form of engagement as investing. you invest your time, knowledge, everything is also investment into that. Okay. Now, whether it is a good time, yes, it's a fantastic time. And you will be considered an early adopters 5 years down the line. Devesh, 5 years, too much? 10 years?
10 years.
10 years, yes. And we are seeing crypto millionaires right now. Probably we'll see metaverse billionaires very soon.
Very true.
And all young teenagers, TNTs, I call them, teenagers of technology, teenagers in technology, explosive guys, and what they are doing, amazing things. And I really encourage you guys to, try to invest into cryptocurrency or blockchain and other, industry 4.0 technologies right now. Get a hang of it, dig in, understand it, develop your skills, and get into that ecosystem right now. So yes, 5 best coins to invest now. Bitcoin has got a supply cap, so it's a stagflationary, it's a deflationary economics out of it. Just for the economics, I will say Bitcoin is always a very good investment. Ethereum is a smart contract platform, so it has got a huge amount of applications. So obviously, I mean, anything of value has to have a good amount of social adaptability, a good amount of adaptation into, a business, so that the economic value added around it is higher, larger, which will again get translated into the value of the token which is going there. And of course, when it moves away from POW to POS, which is going to happen very soon, I think the London hard fork has ensured that Ethereum transaction fee burn is going to actually make it an deflationary economy again. Deflationary coin tokenomics is going to be seen in Ethereum. So yes, Ethereum is also a very good coin to be in. Now, there are some very interesting developments in the DLT space, the distributed ledger technology space, which is happening, which I'm very, very much excited about. One is the use of directed acrylic graphs, DAGs. One of the pioneers who are doing that is Hedera, Hashgraph. So I'm quite bullish on Hedera. So that's the third project that I'm looking at. One thing is also very important is interoperability, and interoperability is going to be a game changer in the future, because all these platforms will need to interact among each other. Two of the projects are pioneers in this area, which is Cosmos and Polkadot. Polkadot has had a very bad beating into the recent downfall, and it's like badly bruised, and it's not able to take up that well. But I think it's a very good value picking at this point of time, where Cosmos is riding high right now. So you can choose between the two. You can support the one which is, you can support the tragic hero, or you can go for the, the one which is riding high. But interoperability should be an theme into your investment portfolio. And there is another interesting theme, which is basically oracles. Now, oracles are those blockchains, or oracles are those, what do you say, data interfaces, which connects the real world data to the blockchain data. So that's also a very important functionality, that your blockchain has to be responsive to the real world. And oracles do that for you. Chainlink, for example, is an oracle, and there are many other oracles like that. So these are the 5 broad themes in which you may look to invest. So just to repeat, Bitcoin, the father of all cryptocurrencies, where it all started, because it's store of value kind of a thing. Then smart contract platforms like Ethereum, or any other smart contracts like Solana, Cardano, these would be, their enterprise application, and the ecosystem developing around that would be the determinants for deciding upon which one to be done. Then the third one is like the new DLT technologies which is coming. One of them is DAG. You can also look for Cadena, which is a braided blockchain. You can also look at IOTA, which is basically a tangle. They do not follow the blockchain per se, but again, the premise is the cryptographic proof of transaction being the source of trust into their operating platform. Then interoperability is another theme, and oracles or connection to real life data. So that's the 5 themes that you should be looking at and investing in. I hope that answers your question, Roshan. Shiba Inu. I like dogs. I love dogs. So that's my take on Shiba Inu. Any other question, guys? What about Doge? I love Doge. It's another dog, isn't it? But I don't own any of them. Next.
Sir, you spoke about technical analysis for crypto. So is there anything like fundamental analysis for cryptocurrency?
Definitely, there is. There are a lot of fundamental analysis aspects which you can do in cryptocurrencies. See, again, I mean, like I said, that cryptocurrency is the Michael Jackson. It's on the forefront. It's dancing. It's attracting the crowds. It's making all the, I mean, halla gulla around. But what is powering this is basically the protocol, the underlying technology. That is the blockchain or IOTA, Tangle, DAGs, those things. So whenever you're trying to move into, let's say, for example, should I invest in Doge? Let's take this question. So if you have to do a fundamental analysis on Doge, what you do is that you go to, let's say, CryptoWire or CoinMarketCap or any other knowledge apps and download whatever news and views and ideas, white papers, the project reports and things which are happening around Doge. Do your own research. That's what is called DYOR, DOR. Okay. And once you just understand the tokenomics behind it, because at the end of the day, it's going to be very, very much important to understand how the token is getting distributed, because economics cannot be ruled out of all these things. Okay, number one. Number two is the technology behind it. Is the technology viable enough? Is the technology foolproof? Because one thing, what is happening in this decentralized space is that there is a huge amount of confusion around one thing, which is called the decentralization trilemma. So in one hand, we have got security, cryptographic security, or how secure the protocol is. Second thing is that if we have security like what Bitcoin has, we do not have speed. So at times we give up speed we give up security to gain speed, and people need speed today. Okay. Now, and to make things secure as well as speedy, some people are giving up decentralization like Ripple. So it's becoming kind of centralized. So how would you like the crypto to be dished out? Whether it should be like one of the big four controlled kind of a thing, or a centralized structure or things like that, or you'd like to be slow but secure like Bitcoin, or you want it to be like speedy but less secure kind of a thing. Security is a big concern. So all these things put together, these questions will actually answer how that is going to be treated going ahead. Number one. Number two is what is very much important is whether it has a supply cap, whether it is inflationary, whether it is deflationary, the economics behind it. So the tokenomics is also very, very much important. Number three, how is the community around it responding? How is the ecosystem around it is growing up? Whether it is a vibrant ecosystem, like when Ethereum was launched in 2000 and Ethereum crowdfunding happened in 2013. Ethereum was launched after development in 2015, and the maker DAO, it started working on Ethereum from 2016 onwards, which was only launched in 2017 and 18. So if you have to see that 2017 and 18, a lot of DeFi, DApp projects came in the forefront, and in 2020, DeFi's actually started happening. And from that point of time, compare the price of Ethereum, you will see that after the DeFi TVL, rocked 1 billion, 2 billion, that kind of figures, only then the Ethereum prices started moving up. So that's a clear-cut scenario that things will happen only when demand goes up. Okay, so you'll have to anticipate how that is happening, how the demand is going to shape up into that area. In Doge, it does not has a supply cap, it does not has any utility. Tell me, why should I invest in Doge? Give me one reason. It is just a payment system without any supply cap. It's a hard fork of Litecoin, which is a hard fork of Bitcoin. It had some supply caps, they removed it. Tell me a reason why you should go for Doge. Does that answer your question, Roshan? So guys, fantastic. I love today's interaction. Thank you, all of you, to be there. I hope this was interesting for you as well. And what should I say more? Welcome to the chain. Devesh, you want to add something?
No, so I completely agree with you, Ajay. Very enthusiastic audience, had really great questions. And what I'm also sensing here, they have already, dealt with cryptocurrencies, either in investing them or trading into them, and they understand that. And overall, a very interesting session. And in fact, the points that you highlighted about on the fundamental, what all one is to look at, I think that is very important, which very few people talk about. And this is something really important on all the parameters that you mentioned, including the white papers and everything else that you said. Uh, I think that works the best for someone to take an investing decision. I think this is the way. Technically, they have understood the support and resistance today, is what I'm assuming. So overall, I think
So
thanks,
I'll tell
Ajoy,
you
and
something,
everyone.
Devesh, out here. I'll tell you something. I mean, these guys, they pick up those white papers, they start reading into it. I'm pretty much sure tomorrow they will have an idea about how to implement them also. And you will see those startups coming in from their, hostel lobbies and their
Absolutely.
canteens. Yeah. So you get your bag of money ready. You can put in something.
True that.
Okay, guys. Great night. Thank you. Good night. And wish you all
Thanks,
the best.
everyone.
So like firstly I'd like to thank you all for joining us. Thank the both of you to taking the time out to join us and provide your insights about cryptocurrency as a whole. And yeah, I'm pretty sure everyone in the meeting might have taken something or the other out of it. Just a request to all the participants in the meeting, I have posted a feedback form and we would really appreciate your feedback on this entire session. And so please take out some time and fill that form. And yeah, I'd also like to thank Chatur Ideas for helping us organize this webinar. And yes, again, thanks a lot, Ajay sir. Thanks a lot, Devesh sir, for joining us.